What I'd like to do now is to move on to our next presentation, which is about opportunities for NR+ in the PMSE area. This presentation is actually a composite from 3 different companies active in this field. So contributions here from Wolfgang Friz from Riedel, Barclay Milne from Shure, and Andreas Wilzeck from Sennheiser. All 3 of these guys are senior managers in their respective companies and have a lot of influence over the responsibility for the product roadmaps in this PMSE industry. So I think we'll very much get a sort of composite view of how people see the potential for NR+ in this space.
So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Barclay Milne. I'm the Director of Engineering at Shure's R&D facilities in Edinburgh. I'm honoured to co-present with my colleagues Wolfgang Friz from Riedel and Andreas Wilzeck from Sennheiser. Following on from Simon's wonderful presentation, this is a view of opportunities for NR+ from a product manufacturer's perspective, opportunities in PMSE for event and content creation. Now, our 3 companies have 2 things in common. First, they are innovators in professional audio, and PMSE, program making and special events, is a market that has come to rely on the innovative products from all 3 companies. More on that later. Second, all 3 companies have pushed the capabilities of DECT technologies to the limit and beyond to achieve the very high wireless and audio performance that is required so that our DECT products can be relied upon by professionals. The modes of operation and quality of service that all 3 companies have achieved with DECT is extraordinary, truly extraordinary. So much so that it's sometimes hard to imagine that our solutions are based on the same technology that's to be found in cordless phones. Now, following on from Simon's excellent presentation, Wolfgang, Andreas and I want to explain why we think that there is a promising opportunity for DECT NR+ and PMSE, and likewise why the PMSE market should see DECT NR+ as a future technology bringing unique opportunities. First, I'm going to talk about the PMSE market, the types of wireless products typically found in this market, and what a high-level market strategy might look like for products based on DECT NR+. Then Wolfgang will explain why, although DECT has already penetrated the PMSE market, the limitations of today's DECT technology prevent us from going much further. Then Andreas will take over and explain why the new capabilities of NR+ will help us address those opportunities for further exploitation of the PMSE market. So, PMSE, what is it? It's program making special events. It's everything you can see here and more. PMSE keeps us in touch with world events, bringing people together, entertaining, informing, educating, sharing, enhancing and influencing our everyday lives, and enabling our society to be what it is today. Although this is a market that doesn't tolerate mistakes or even glitches, as Simon was saying, most of us will remember the very few occasions when something went wrong at a live concert, whilst forgetting to appreciate the thousands of hours of flawless live performances we've witnessed and enjoyed throughout the years. People still talk about when Sir Paul McCartney's mic went dead for an agonizing 2 minutes at the Live Aid concert in 1985, when singing Let It Be with Bowie and Townsend. Behind the scenes and out of sight and sound, huge teams of engineers communicate with fast-flowing but precise intercom messages to ensure flawless stage management of all the performances. Stage managers and engineers need products that they know will work every time without fail. And the talent, that is the singer, the musician, the presenter, and yes, even statesman, is experiencing high-risk, adrenaline-fueled moments when the last thing they want to be doing is worrying about the equipment they're using. PMSE is a very special market where the stakes are high and where your products must have pristine audio and be super reliable. failure is not an option. One view of the PMSE market can be seen here with, on the left, content of many types being generated for live consumption or live transmission or for streaming. On the right side are the many ways in which that content can be consumed. What is not shown here, of course, is the view in the pictures on the left, is the crucial communication that's taking place behind the scenes using intercom equipment that is just as important as the microphone capturing the sound of the talent. Now here's a view of the three main wireless product types in PMSE. The intercom, sometimes called talkback, which is used by engineers and stage managers behind the scene. The wireless microphone. Now, back in the Live Aid days, 1985, wireless microphones were a rarity. Now, virtually all singers and presenters use wireless mics, and a big musical event may need over 40 wireless mics to stage the performance. The in-ear monitor. Well, some of us remember the big wedge speakers at the front of the stage that used to blast out the performance sound back at the musicians. Nowadays, wireless IEMs have replaced those wedge monitor speakers, allowing musicians to hear a well-balanced mix of the performance. Another view of the PMSE market is given here with 4 distinguishable quadrants and an indication of where DECT has already penetrated. Bottom left, conferences and presentations. It's basically picking up and transmitting the spoken word at live events. In this quadrant, DECT products, including those from Sennheiser, Riedel, and Shure, have made a profound impact, and now DECT is becoming the customer's technology of choice. For installations requiring over 100 reliable live, high-quality audio channels, DECT is the only wireless technology that can do this today. Moving on to electronic news gathering and mobile journalism. This is a relatively new area for DECT, and the Sennheiser AVX Mojo system is making an impact. Opportunities still await, though, for high-end systems where today DECT has not penetrated. Now, in both studio and film production and live events, only DECT intercoms like Riedel's Bolero system have penetrated, and we're yet to see DECT make it into high-end performance mics or in-ear monitors, due to the extremely low latency that Simon mentioned, needing less than 4 milliseconds for a round-trip delay from mic via mixer back to the IEM. Now, if we look at the requirements for wireless audio in PMSE, those of you that know DECT can see that DECT today can meet many of those requirements very well indeed, but significant improvements in latency, better robustness in certain environments, and a boost to audio quality would get us where we need to be to penetrate all of the quadrants of the PMSE market. If such improvements could be made with NR+, and Andreas will explain why we think it's possible, we could dominate the conference and presentation market, penetrate electronic news gathering and studio and film production, and definitely explore the live events market, carving out some part of it with products with NR+. Now, just to illustrate why those opportunities are exciting, I'm going to show a couple of slides of some market data, which I'll flick through whilst Wolfgang is getting ready to take over. If you want to switch your video and audio on, Wolfgang.
So, hello everybody. Wolfgang Friz, I'm product manager here, senior product manager from Riedel Communications. As you see here, a lot of other applications that we are serving today. But today I want to talk to you about the DECT legacy. What is the weakness, why we cannot go further, and why we have already done everything to put everything out of this technology, the DECT legacy technology. So let's go forward. So DECT is really a good technology. We see that in why so many people want or companies want to work on the DECT, because as we see also on the NR+, it's a self-organizing frequency management there. It's really easy and it works anywhere, anytime. Customer just turn it on, so it's really great. It has, I think, the best high quality of service in the market, as the DECT has strict rules. And with NR+, the rules stay there. So that's the good thing on NR+. It's not like Wi-Fi, where everybody can do what he'd like to do from technology-wise, and they work more or less side by side. Here we have very strict rules, and this gives us the high quality of service. And of course, the handover capabilities that are in the DECT since beginning, more or less. So these are the really good benefits of the DECT band that we see today. Next page, please. So another point is, or weakness, we can see from both sides actually. The DECT, the legacy DECT, was designed for telephone systems, so it was really a speech audio quality system. So this gives a limit to the technology, more or less, and it was also with an acceptable latency for the spoken word design. So it was intended to work with more than 50 to 20 milliseconds at the beginning. So we pushed it down to achieve, let's say, minimum 13 milliseconds per link. But normally, with all the parts we do, we achieve 15 to 20 milliseconds per link today. This is good. This is good for talking and for speech applications. But of course, for a professional audio application, this is way too high. And as we see, we want to achieve actually a link that is going down to 1.5 milliseconds to achieve this 4 millisecond round trip delay. And the operation range is for a low power system really good, and really more than most of the application needs. Of course, we want more, and these kilometers that we see on NR+ gives us new possibilities in NR+. But it is actually a good range, this 250 meter free line of sight. Next page. What are the limits of today's thing? Actually, we are always in this triangle, so in the audio industry. So we can have a little bit lower latency, more audio performance, or more capacity. And in this triangle, we are working. We try, if you have a more audio performance, like in the Sennheiser microphone system for conference use, immediately the capacity is limited because they use more bandwidth, more time slots for the audio performance. And the latency, of course, is also a topic. Of course, you can do more if you increase the latency. So, but this is normal. And this is something where we are limited to this 120 time slots today. And even this in the capacity gives us, it seems to be a lot actually, but we have enough applications where these 120 channels are way too less. And we see it on the IoT application that they are looking for 1,000 channels and more in the audio world. In our performance level, as you see already that from the table before, we are working with 200, 300 or more channels, wireless channels in a single performance actually. Next page. So what is another limit of the legacy DECT? And this is in normal DECT applications, we have the multipass and these multipass problems. So the reliability of the connection is degrading if you are near of metal, I mean, in a stadium or any other reflecting area. And of course, there are possibilities to improve that, and we have done it on our side, let's say, but it is a complete push to the absolute limit of what we can do on the legacy DECT to make it more reliable. NR+ has this inside their technology already included, so that they have more robustness in the connection, and therefore this weakness of the legacy DECT is solved more or less for and gives us more reliability on the connection. Next page. So legacy DECT is widely used, but not global. This is, and we see here on the map, I don't know if it's 100% actual, but the major things like China, India, these big markets are not covered by the existing DECT. As NR+ is designed to support more band, not only the DECT band that we know, also other bands in the 5G gigahertz range and so on. And this could be also a solution for a lot of applications to give the customer the possibility to operate international. Next page.
Okay, so Andreas, do you want to step forward?
Yes. Do you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I take this opportunity to introduce myself. So my name is Andreas Wilzeck. I'm also vice chairman of ETSI DECT, and I was chairing basically the ETSI evaluation group for IMT 2020. And at Sennheiser, I'm head of the Spectrum Policy and Standards department, which is part of the Pro Audio Portfolio Management. So I will talk shortly about what is now the value NR+ is bringing to us. So we have an advanced technology foundation with ease of use. We have further spectrum access to manage growing demands for audio PMSE as a general field of application. And we have a way for retaining sovereignty anywhere, anytime, and by anyone. Next slide, please. So NR+ delivers a flexible but powerful technology foundation. And this is important to note. NR+ is currently not seeking to be an end-to-end solution. So it's not trying to describe basically the way every application has to live. It's providing a foundation, it's providing you an enabling technology. So it provides a state-of-the-art wireless based on OFDM, time division duplex, and TDMA combined with FDMA. It provides scalable bandwidth and flexible time structure to adapt to specific application demands. It provides the fading and multipass robustness we were seeking, especially when we are deploying in large venues. This is actually where classic DECT is currently failing to perform. Then we have application-driven network topologies. So actually allowing us to use it as a foundation for cable replacement, as a foundation for a star topology, for a cellular topology, and for the mesh tree, like Jussi was showing it. So we have multiple antenna support for increased reliability or enhanced data rate. We have the support of low latency streaming and guaranteed quality of service applications. We have the support of multiple concurrent ultra-reliable low latency users, which is actually very, very challenging, as this is upload-centric in case of the wireless microphone, or download-centric if you talk about in-ear monitoring systems. Actually, we have a mix. And what we see on stages is that in-ear monitoring is getting more and more prominent. So actually, it's getting to a 50-50 ratio between microphones and in-ear monitors nowadays. And we retain the ease of use as known from classic DECT and the hassle-free deployment. You can do it everywhere. You can do it on your own. So further spectrum access is an enabler. NR+ delivers an opportunity to re-liberalize is access to radio spectrum globally. Yeah, NR+ is designed to support any frequency bands below 6 GHz. Currently, it lists many in the specifications. NR+ is user-deployed IMT 2020 radio technology. NR+ is a member of the DECT family of standards. And NR+ can support the different frequency regulative landscapes regarding the dedicated license-exempt frequency band for DECT. It can go into the license-exempt bands, so ISM and the 5 GHz, 6 GHz bands. It can be in the campus network frequency bands around 3.7 up to 4.2 GHz. It can be in the license-shared band regimes like Evolve License-Shared Access or the Citizen Broadband Radio System in the US. It can be, of course, also in the licensed band. Next slide, please. Yeah, so retaining sovereignty. NR+ is defined as a DECT 2020 new radio by ETSI. All technical specifications can be freely accessed, so it's an open standard. Everyone can get member of ETSI and is welcome to contribute. As a TC-DECT Vice Chairman, I welcome everyone who is currently on the call to join TC-DECT and to help developing the standard. NR+ is a technology foundation, an enabler for chip-based solutions of radio, an enabler for application-driven business and innovation, an enabler for cooperation, but you can also use it just for yourself. And of course, NR+ brings research, standardization, and applications together. Ideas are key. I just want to mention that the successful evaluation of IMT 2020 for the DECT 2020 technology was just possible because of cooperation with research. So I thank here VTT, Temple University, Leibniz University Hannover for their contributions to the ETSI evaluation group. And I also thank all the other independent evaluation groups and their research partners, which were driven by technical excellence and not just by market. So ideas are key. So I just sketch here an example which was already mentioned multiple times. You usually have a smart IoT infrastructure deployed, for example, the lightning systems. And of course, one can leverage this also in the PMSE domain. Just think about a venue where you have a lot of lamps basically deployed, and you can leverage this infrastructure which is already there with the help of DECT NR+. So for example, the range extension of the wireless microphone in order to get to the loudspeakers or in order to provide the connectivity for a cloud recording. With that, I thank you. And yeah, I guess we are all ready for questions.
Thank you, Andreas. This is Walter.
Thank you very much, Andreas, and Barclay, and also Wolfgang. A good combined presentation there. I'm particularly intrigued on that very last slide that you put up there, Andreas. I mean, I can see huge potential there for the integration of lighting in live performances using this kind of technology. Is that an area that, I mean, I know you guys are not involved in the lighting side, but is there potential for collaboration there perhaps across that sort of performance industry? Any thoughts on that from any of you?
Yeah, so maybe let me respond. So actually, we are currently preparing certain projects in cooperation with research institutes looking actually into the integration of the audio PMSE world with the IoT world. Yeah, because what we notice is that you basically have more and more that you meet each other. And then it makes sense that you work with each other.